Yes, sir.
Your question, please.
So there's a question, with something on the lines we were talking yesterday also, and this is what I hear, especially in the big companies. If I go for a bigger roles, so what do they say is, this was a one question, like let's say you are the head of L&D and the year is starting. So how do you plan the entire strategy of L&D interventions? So I just thought of having your valuable thoughts on this.
What I'm seeing in the parameters is you are the L&D head. So let me just put it down. L&D head. The first thing which has been given to you is it is a $2 billion valuation company, right?
Yeah.
$2 billion valuation company with 1,000 employees. Now this is valuation, right? So they're not told you what the revenue is.
No. And a team of 4 people.
And a team of 4 people.
Only L&D, core L&D team.
L&D team of 4 people. And you have 2 months before the next year begins, right? 2 months.
Yes.
2 months. So obviously they're giving you a constraint of time that you have 2 months before the year begins. What kind of strategy would you look at? What would be your priorities, etc.? Fine. Is this roughly the question, Ritesh?
Yeah.
First is, what are your priority plans?
Okay.
Right? What would be your priority plans in this case? Now, second, obviously in the planning, what would be the budget? What would be your focus? So on and so forth. Now, first question I would ask if I'm a new person is, what are the critical business drivers?
Yeah.
In the company. So what does the company do? What are the critical business drivers? What are the critical positions supporting those critical business drivers? What are my critical positions?
Okay.
Right? So first come out with the strategy map, or identify the drivers and then say what are the critical positions which I need to look into. So let us say out of 1,000 employees, maybe 300 or 400 are the critical employees who are the most important because their skills will drive the business forward. Correct?
Okay.
Maybe there might be 3, 4, 5 positions which are most important for the company, that if these positions work well, the company's expansion, revenue, etc. will go up.
Yeah.
Right? These are the ones which give a critical advantage to the company. My first priority obviously will be these 3, 4 positions. I will do a competency framework or mapping.
Yes.
I will assess current skill set.
Yeah.
And what are the gaps.
Yes.
This is the first area. Second, might say, okay, what are the core competencies? Like what are the critical core competencies that everyone should have? And I will plan to see again how to move for people forward in this, and then probably look at the leadership competence. Yesterday I discussed.
You told core competencies, leadership, and role competencies. Yes.
I would try to look at now how much training do I require for each of these areas. How many programs do I need? I will try to look at my calendar, prioritizing these 3 areas. Based on the calendar, obviously, I will have to plan my budget. And then keeping in view my internal versus external team, how much of it can be internally done, how much of it can be externally done, I will plan this.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, 2 months is less time, but yeah, competent leadership, competency mapping, as well as 4, 5 critical positions, I can map in 2 months comfortably and do an assessment. So I don't see any challenge in doing this, which is all these things, right? The gaps, how do I fill in the gaps from the critical positions? What are the leadership competencies I need to push? and what are the core competencies I need to push. So I will get some sense of how much training is required in the company, how much of it can be internally done, and based on that, I will get my budget. Based on the calendar and the plan, obviously, if I get a buy-in from the management, I will be also able to get a budget to run these programs. See, first I have to look at my existing 1,000 employees, and out of them 300, 400 who are very critical and who are doing absolutely mission critical areas, I need to build their skills right away. Then obviously I want to develop a leadership team which can drive the business to the next level, right? Which could include, obviously, in a 1,000-member team, this could have two levels of leadership training or two levels of competencies. One is the first time manager, second is the emerging leader, and maybe even a strategic leadership group. I would like to see for each of the three groups what kind of competencies are required and therefore what kind of training is required. The calendar I will budget. Obviously, based on the calendar, then I will do the budgeting for this exercise. So this will be first year, but second year, probably I will start looking at talent management. I'll start looking at preemptive training plans so that I can add it here, probably depending on the budget. Then third, last priority will be preemptive training for new joinees, etc. Currently, because as the new joinees come, they can join the training, at least for critical role training, I look at it. This will be my best use of budget. So that's about what I can suggest, Ritesh.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
All right.